everybody. So today we are going to be discussing why I don't like Edward. Now, please excuse my horrible sounding voice because I am just getting over a cold and my voice is not 100% back yet. But that is what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be discussing my opinions on Edward. Now, again, I will say I want to preface this. If you are an Edward girly, I'm not judging you. Trust me, I was an Edward girly from 12 to now. Still kind of an Edward girly, but I can still criticize. And I will criticize. Especially after reading Midnight Sun, which I don't know if most of you guys have read Midnight Sun, which if you haven't, short version is just basically Twilight, but from Edward's point of view. But you do get a little bit more of his thoughts and the process of what he was thinking while going through Midnight Sun. So that's very interesting. But I do want to discuss a couple things that I found interesting in his character. And one of those points is going to be how manipulative Edward is in not only just Midnight Sun, but in all the Twilight series. Now, I don't know if you guys remember what happened in Twilight, but there were multiple times in not only just the books, but in the movies, where he would purposely put himself in Bella's life when he would say he didn't want to, or when it wasn't necessary. For example, in the books, and even in the movies, he would be like, Bella, we shouldn't be friends, not a good idea for us to be friends, because I'm the bad guy, and blah, blah, blah. But he would still purposely go up to her and talk to her, even after he said they shouldn't even be friends, which obviously made Bella more confused, and kind of makes us more confused, because trust me, if that were me, I'd be like, buddy, you just said you didn't want to be friends. Why are you coming back and being like, well, I just said we shouldn't be friends, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to be friends. What's that supposed to mean? If we're not supposed to be friends, don't be friends with me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing he would do, that I don't know if most of you guys have seen this or not, but another thing he would do, for example, in New Moon, he would judge Bella's friends. Now, obviously, this was more in Midnight Sun, where you got a little bit more details as to his mindset and what he was thinking and all that. But he would judge Bella's friends, especially Mike, for having that little crush on her, which, I get, he had a crush, and Edward, was jealous or whatever. But it still did not make sense to me, because I'm like, why do you care? And he would also judge Jessica as well, which, to be fair, I don't think Jessica was even the mean one to Bella. In the story, I'd beg to differ that Lauren was a little bit more mean to Bella versus Jessica, but, that's just my opinion. But anyways, another thing that he would do that I do not like Edward for is he would just be kind of controlling, especially when it came to her friendship with Jacob. Now, obviously, in New Moon, when, Edward dipped and all that kind of stuff for, whatever reason, Bella got closer to Jacob, which was great and all that stuff. But as soon as Edward came back, he basically forbade Bella from having any sort of contact with Jacob, because in his words, werewolves were not good company, and also werewolves were dangerous, which why? Because in my personal opinion, I'd say vampires are more dangerous than werewolves, considering the fact that if you were to, in order for consider a werewolf being dangerous, they would have to switch to their werewolf forms in order to be considered dangerous, in my opinion. Whereas for a vampire, you wouldn't really even have to switch your form to be dangerous, because you're already in your vampire form. So, in my opinion, I'd be like, Edward, what are you talking about? Werewolves are more dangerous than vampires, when I beg to differ. Because if you remember in the scene in New Moon, when Bella went to confront Paul, because, she thought all the werewolves were, bullying Jacob and all that stuff, Paul literally had to transform into a werewolf to be considered dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And with Edward, he doesn't have to transform, because he's already in his vampire form. So he could easily kill Bella whenever he wanted to, if he ever wanted to. And he even said that multiple times in Midnight Sun, where he was debating with himself whether he was gonna kill Bella or whether he was gonna be able to, withstand the urge to not kill her, which I'm like, buddy, what are you saying? And not only that, there was even a time where he also keyed Bella's car, like physically broke Bella's car, so that way she wouldn't be able to go hang out with Jacob, because again, he just assumed that werewolves were dangerous, when in reality, I don't think they were, and I don't even think Bella thought they were. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that like just irks me about Edward. Oh, another thing too is he's also manipulative when it comes to Alice, because if you guys remember in the books, Alice kidnapped Bella in order to get Bella to, not go see Jacob. And the only reason why Bella found out that that's what Alice was doing was because Alice literally slipped the beans and basically told Bella that the only reason why she did that was because Edward bribed her with a Porsche. Like, dude. So I'm like, in my opinion, I just think Edward is very manipulative. I think he's very controlling. I think he's very antagonistic when it comes to the wolves, even though he never spent any time with them, never really even gave them a chance, let alone Jacob. Even though he knew Bella and Jacob had like a pretty close relationship, would you think, if your girlfriend has a pretty close relationship with a friend, you probably would want to get to know them and give them a chance regardless of like your differences, but whatever. Oh, another thing that I just remembered that I want to add in before I forget anything, because I feel like I probably will, knowing me, is he lies to Bella constantly in the books and in the films. For example, the one time when where Edward takes Bella to Florida to go see, her mother Renee. He did not tell her that the reason why they were going was because Victoria came back to try to hunt Bella. He didn't tell her that. He did not tell her that at all. He only just told her that, hey, the tickets that my parents got you for your birthday, they're going to expire soon, so you probably should use them. He never mentioned that Victoria was going to be there until Jacob told Bella, because Jacob was like, hey, she's got the right to know. She should know. And I'm kind of like, why wouldn't you tell Bella that? Like, she already knows about the supernatural world. She already knows about Victoria. Yes, you could argue that, Edward was just trying to be, nice, and he wasn't trying to ruin the time that she would have with her mom and all that kind of stuff. But still, like Jacob said, she had the right to know, And another thing he also lied to her about is when he left her in the woods, he basically said that the only reason why they were leaving was because Carlisle, was looking too young and he probably should look a little bit older. Now, I do believe that could be partly true, but I honestly feel like the real reason why they left was because of what happened at the birthday party. That, again, by the way, another thing, Bella didn't even want to have that birthday party. She specifically told Alice and Edward and pretty much everyone that she did not want to celebrate her birthday. She wanted nothing to do with her birthday. She didn't want to have a birthday party. But Edward, for some reason, convinced Bella to have a birthday party because Alice wanted to throw her a birthday party. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like it's a little bit sketchy. Another thing, let me see if there's anything else that I can add on here. Okay, another thing I could probably add, I don't really think this holds any significance, but I'll still add it in either way, is that Edward would constantly keep telling Bella that he doesn't want her to turn into a vampire. He doesn't want her to have to, suffer the life that, that he has to suffer and that his entire family has to suffer and all that kind of stuff. But in my opinion, I'm kind of like, why would you tell her that you don't want her to be a vampire when you literally kept implicating yourself into her life in order for that to happen? Like, she would never have became a vampire if Edward, first of all, never, never tried to be friends with Bella, never kept trying to talk to her. Also, if he never came back in New Moon, he actually kept to his words and stayed away from her like he said he was going to, which, oh my gosh, there's another subplot that Stephenie Meyer was going to add in New Moon, which I kind of wish she added this in, but she didn't, where there was supposed to be a subplot in New Moon where Edward was supposed to keep, wire transferring her money even after he left, and apparently he, disguised it as, a trust fund, where it was going to be, $20,000 that he was going to send her up front, and then $5,000 per month till she graduated, which, again, that's a subplot that was never added into the books or anything, but let me tell you, if it was added into the books, oh, that would just give me even more reasons to be like, Edward, you sketchy, okay? Anyways, that's just my thoughts and my opinions as to why I'm not the biggest fan of Edward. But again, hey, if you're an Edward girly, I'm not judging you, I promise. You know, again, I was an Edward girly for a long, long time until I read Midnight Sun. Then I was kind of like, ugh, I don't know anymore. But, you know, I mean, I still like Edward. I still like Twilight. I'm a Twilight girly forever and always. Always will be. It's going to always be close to my heart no matter what. But, yeah, if you guys have any of your own opinions about Edward, or if you guys want to defend him in the comments, let's have a little friendly debate, because honestly, I'm up for that. And if you guys have any other videos that you would like to see me do of any other characters from Twilight, or maybe not even from Twilight, who knows, I might branch out to other shows, so you never know. But, yeah, with that being said, just let me know your thoughts and opinions. I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. See you later.